Hi, welcome to the last ever radio broadcast on WCOO, the last one of the 1920s.
Hello, this is Carl Martinez reporting your nightly news. Just in, the John Scopes court case has come to a close. He's been convicted of teaching kids the theory of evolution, and as you know, the church has banned that in 9 states, including Tennessee, his home state where he teaches. Also, a nice update is on economics. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's not really much of a shocker. And finally, I'm here to talk to you about the Red Scare. All communists, you better watch out. We're coming for you. You don't belong here.
Good evening, I'm David Tito, the lead news radio broadcaster. I'm here with a very special guest tonight, the one and only Woodrow Wilson, former president. Mr. President, didn't know you were a gymnast, sir.
Yep, in my younger days I was. Always kept in shape.
So, I got a couple questions for you.
Alright, shoot.
What's going on with the negotiations?
You know, they were going a little rocky. I wanted to kind of preserve everything and not have another war get caused. But you know, the other big four, Orlando, Clemente, and Floyd, they just wanted an area for themselves.
Europe, you know.
The French, what are you gonna do about it?
What about the 14-point plan? I hear a lot about this. What's going on with that?
Most of the points are actually boundary, differentials, new countries being created. Germany and Russia really taking a big hit from those. They're losing a lot of territory.
Gotcha.
And Germany especially, on top of that, is getting the guilty war clause where they're literally handing out money like it's candy to us. We're literally putting all the blame on them.
Of course, it was their fault.
Yeah, you know, but who knows? This could cause some future dilemma.
Yeah. Now I got one last question for you. What's going on with the League of Nations?
You know, I was all about that. That was one of my main things because the other people weren't really keen on my 14 points, so I was at least allow the League of Nations. But once I get back to the U.S., everybody's shutting me down. Congress is no, Woodrow, I'm not feeling that.
Okay.
The 1920s was a time when women broke all the physical and social constraints of the previous century. Women cut their hair to a bob, started wearing skirts to the knee, began using makeup, and wore high heels. This flapper look was inspired by Clara Brown, the Hollywood it girl. Flappers would work steady jobs during the day, and at night they would go out to jazz clubs and speakeasies. At these clubs, they developed their attitude towards prohibition, like their male counterparts, and took up smoking. They also began experimenting sexually more than the previous generations. Many people questioned flappers if they were acting like these for themselves or like men. This boyish look of 1925 to 1926, and then again in 1928 to 1929, was inspired by Coco Chanel. She introduced the boyish look. Women's dresses either hung straight or flared at the hip a little bit. Women's fashion in the 1920s was a result of the post-World War I era.
David Tito here once again, your lead news reporter. I'm here with the one and only, infamous Al Capone. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
That's good. Nice coat. I like it. Nice tie.
They're custom made.
Oh,
Don't touch.
okay, sorry. I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you about a man named Johnny Torrio.
My mentor.
Who is that?
I was his original bodyguard. He was the original crime boss in Chicago. I love that man.
Yeah?
But once he got killed, I got to be the top dog.
You still are today.
You damn right.
Now, you're the one that's been running Chicago for the past 8 years, maybe?
Yeah, that's
9,
me.
10 years? That's you?
Yep.
Alright, you been paying off those cops?
Of course. Been bootlegging. Got my whole bootlegging operation.
I'd like to ask you another question.
Okay.
Okay. St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Is that you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean when you sent several men dressed as police officers to shoot a rival bootlegger?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
You know the name, Bugs Moran.
I don't know who
That's who
that
you
is.
shot. That's who you killed.
Listen, I'm Al Capone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, just take it easy.
I'm done here.
Alright. I guess that's it.
I'm Corbin Martinez, and tonight we have a very special guest. I would like to welcome the myth of all myths, the baseball player and former New York Yankee, Lou Gehrig. Nice to meet you, Mr. Gehrig. Now, tonight I have a few questions for you. First, I'd like to talk about that consecutive game record that you have.
Yeah, 2,130 consecutive games.
That's a pretty steep feat right there. Can't imagine doing that, people. Next, I'd like to ask you about your teammate. You and Babe were pretty dominant.
Yeah. Me and him, even if I didn't hit a home run, he'd usually get me in. If I got on base, which was, I don't want to brag, but it was more than likely, even if I just got on base, he would usually hit me in for score some runs.
No wonder you guys have a dynasty going. Next, I'd like to ask you about the college that you went. You went to Columbia?
Yeah, studied engineering. I actually didn't play only baseball. I played fullback for the football team.
Ah, nice. Two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
And finally, I'd like to talk to you about your all-time World Series batting average.
Yeah, batted .361 in all my World Series.
That's pretty high.
Thanks.
Well, it was nice having you, Mr. Gehrig.
No problem.
Music and literature during the 1920s became popular because of the Jazz era and the Harlem Renaissance. Duke Ellington was the famous composer, pianist, and bandleader of the Jazz era. He was born in Washington, D.C. on April 29, 1899. In 1923, Duke Ellington moved to New York City and performed in Broadway jazz nightclubs as the bandleader of the Sextet, a group in the time led to a 10-piece ensemble. Ellington's ensemble includes trumpeter Cody Willems, cornetist Rex Stewart, and saxophonist Johnny Hodges. He made many records with his band and appeared in many films and on radio. Ellington was one of the most influential figures in jazz. Langston Hughes was an African-American poet, novelist, and influential playwright. He was born on February 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. Many of his work included Negro Speaks of Rivers, The Weary Blues, and Find the Close Up to the Jew. Earlier this year, Hughes came out with his first novel, Knocked Out Laughter. Hughes was a major influence of the Harlem Renaissance.
Today, we have Walt Disney here with us to tell a little bit about himself and the opening of his small animation studio in 1923. Hello, Walt, and welcome.
Thank you for having me on your show today.
So tell me a little bit about how you came to creating cartoons and animations in 1923.
On October 16, 1923, a man by the name of Mr. M.J. Winker approached me with a contract to produce a series of Alice comedies. I made the decision to sign a contract with him, and that began the Disney Company, which I named the Disney Brothers Studio.
From there, when did you make your first cartoon?
On September 5th, 1927, we released our first cartoon in the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoons called Trolley Trouble. After the great success from the cartoon, we released cartoons called Steamboat at the Colony Theater in New York on November 18, 1928, which was the release of our first Mickey Mouse cartoon, as well as the first appearance of Minnie Mouse.
Sounds like a fun time. I appreciate you being on the show, and I wish you the best of luck in the future with your company.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for being on the show, and we hope you come back sometime soon. Pepsodent toothpaste, the most dependable toothpaste brand. You know, one of the principal benefits you get from brewed tea and other teas is the fluoride that fights against tooth decay. And the same thing is true for Pepsodent toothpaste. In addition to fighting tooth decay, Pepsodent toothpaste supplies an agent known as pepsin, which is designed to break down and digest deposits on teeth, and which help make your teeth clean and your breath fresh.
I'm David Tito, signing off for the last time of this decade. Looking forward to the next. Good night and good news.
Digest food depositions on teeth. Okay, we're got that.
With a a contract to produce a series of Alice comedies.
Alright, we're doing that again. That was terrible.
No.
1899. This one, I can't even talk.
And for with a shocker. What?
Just look at the camera. You're looking
You're
over
looking
around.
like us.
Why can't I look at us? Okay, stop it.
Last time on WCOO. Let's have a nice decade.
That's terrible.